Every morning while I'm still asleep, I have AI agents that wake up and go to work for me. They scan artists looking for beats, they check my catalog, pull industry news, and prep my outreach. By the time I sit down at the DAW, my business has already been running for hours. And the best part is none of this stuff has to touch a cloud server. Everything I'm about to show you can run locally on your own hardware with your own data under your control. No subscriptions are needed, no API keys to bleed your money every single month, and also no platform that can change its terms and break your workflow overnight. And this is basically what a sovereign music operation looks like today. Most producers these days are still renting their infrastructure. They use Splice, BeatStars, and every software as a service tool that's in your stack. You got to know this. You don't own any of it. You're just a tenant. And when that landlord raises the rent or shuts down, your operation can break. I got a little bit tired of that song and dance, so I rebuilt around tools that I actually control. Before I show you the stack, let me explain to you how it's actually structured, because there's two completely different layers here, and most people collapse them into one. Layer one is a engine for automation. And for this task, I choose OpenClaw, which is open source and can run locally on any machine. So right now, I'm going to say that the setup is not entirely local, but if you have the hardware, you have a dormant computer with, a valid graphics card, RAM and stuff like that, you definitely can get it there. But yeah, this is more about the ideal, right, of having no cloud dependency, no ongoing cost, and stuff that runs while I'm asleep. Right now, I'm working towards finding a proper model that'll work on my Mac and do all the tasks efficiently. Layer two is my active intelligence layer. So for that, I use Claude, who is my primary AI collaborator for everything I'm actually doing when I sit down to work. Writing, planning, scripting, exploring ideas, and building new systems. Every video script I write, every Substack piece, every release strategy, that all comes from live brainstorming sessions with Claude. And these two layers do completely different jobs. The automation layer handles everything that's repetitive, scheduled, and doesn't need me in the room. The intelligence layer handles everything that requires judgment, creativity, or building something from scratch. And I'm going to walk you through both. Okay, so right now I have Seraphine. This is my OpenClaw bot, and she is doing outreach for me. I had her list out the cons so that we can take a look at all the stuff that I have going on here, right? We got a few disabled ones that I was experimenting with that don't seem to be working. But the main ones for Twitter outreach, see, boom, 10 a.m. plus 9 p.m. daily. Last ran April 6th, right around yesterday. Lead Hunter. That one runs on a schedule. Email replies, it does that for me. And it does a little bit of Twitter unfollowing for me as well. As these ones were working up until last week, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm still using these. I haven't said this yet, but if you're experimenting with some of these open source agents and stuff like that, there's going to be a little bit of troubleshooting. It's not too hard, but yeah, follower DM, group outreach, key finder, Reddit, boom, 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 boom. So my outreach cron scans Twitter, which is my primary engine for marketing right now. It looks for rappers posting send beats, and it also looks for producers that are looking for emails. And when it finds a match with an email and it finds producers and rappers who might be interested in music like mine, it queues up the email and it sends the beat pack to them or loop pack automatically. I used to take 1 hour to 3 hours of my day just doing outreach and social media activity. So this one's been really useful for me. I also have a research cron that delivers me news on a daily basis, and it'll be in subjects that I'm interested in. So music industry trends, AI developments, and also just local news, world news, and stuff like that. It's not too bad to keep up on those events if it's not too slanted. Next thing I want to show you guys is my daily brief. I have it up here. Habits checker. I have it. I don't use it. I have a lot of systems here that I built and didn't use, but it's okay. Goals are here. Monthly goals, of course. Yeah, I want to leave my parents' basement by the end of the year. And this is all on me because yes, the habit, it's checking, right? Every morning it's checking if I'm doing the habits. I just ignore it. Personally, I think I need more excess pressure, but that's neither here or there. I also have reminders and tasks synced to Apple Reminders. So if I have stuff that is, in my reminders list, you can hook that up to your agent as well, and it'll sync everything. You can have it update your reminders and calendar. My point in showing you all of this Telegram nonsense is to show you that all of this runs while I'm making music, asleep, or away from my machine. And this is a work in progress system that I'm working on right now, but I'm so excited to show you guys this shit because I think it is a potential game changer in the music industry for the people who are open to using AI in this sort of way for, automation work and stuff like that. I think a lot of us creatives, we don't really have much of the needed organizational skills and stuff like that, outreach and day to day. And, for me, it's not even that I don't have the skills or whatever. It's mostly that I don't want to. Like, I want to spend most of my time making music. And I'm grateful that I have systems like this that are, WIP, but definitely I've been seeing results over the past month just trying OpenClaw and stuff like that. So yeah, that's like what I'm calling the quote unquote automation layer. And it's great. Like, it handles the mechanical sides of my business so that I can make music as I please. But, that stuff does need a brain. And that's kind of where the second layer comes in, right? That's the Claude layer. And that's where a lot of my actual work happens, right? The second layer is where I spend most of my time. Claude being my main tool for brainstorming, scripting. So Claude is the main tool. I don't use it for background automation. This is for things that I'm actively building on. So for example, like the key finder I released in the last video, I went through with Claude. I did, I prompted it. I said, hey, I need a free key finder. It needs to work on Mac OS, yada, yada, yada. Took me a few days of just back and forth with Claude, testing and stuff like that. And I was able to release that in the description if you need a free key finder for your Mac. By the way, when I'm scripting a video, I use Claude. When I'm planning a release, I'll typically use Claude to help me plan that. And then when I'm writing Substack, of course, I'm going with Claude. He's my partner. That's how it works. Damn, it would have been smarter to have Claude up. Fuck. Okay, so this is what I call the second layer. This is where I would spend most of my time is right here in Claude. See, I got video scripts, different ideas floating around, just things that I want to do. Sometimes I do tweets and, talk about liberalism and whatever other bullshit. I'm cutting that part out too. But like, as you can see, I have a newsletter writer. I have a content writer and a lot of other ideas that are floating around. The cool thing is like now that Claude has memory, it kind of just like pulls it all together for you. And you can also hook it up to your notes in Obsidian or Apple Notes or whatever. And you can get copies and, reference that stuff as well. So yeah, when I'm scripting a video, I come in here, I lay down the ideas. I also tend to, when I'm planning releases, Substack pieces, build new systems, or want to explore new ideas, I go to Claude. It's my working partner. And yeah, the way I like to think about it, right, is pretty simple. I have OpenClaw and automation business infrastructure. And then Claude helps me with strategic operations and creative operations. One handles the things that I've already figured out, the repeatable tasks that I systemize, and the other one helps me figure out things that I haven't done yet. And the thing I want to be clear about, because it matters, is like I have basic coding abilities, HTML, CSS. Everything you're seeing is, strictly just through me prompting an AI and also giving it the proper knowledge and context needed through my Obsidian vaults as well to plan out these systems, these content pipelines, and different automation procedures that I'm working on. And none of it came from me already knowing how to build it. Like I kind of just had to figure it out through describing what I need clearly enough through Claude and also my AI agent so that they could help me build it. And I think that's a different kind of skill. But also I think it's a skill that every producer can develop, If you can articulate your problem, then you can definitely build a solution and you may even be able to automate it. All right, and now for a second, I just want to go back to my actual OpenClaw bot. I decided to call her and I gave her a little personality anime thing. I do have like a personality for like how she talks and stuff like that. But since I'm like always in here, just like business, it doesn't seem to like stick consistently when we're actually trying to get stuff done. But I don't know, if I scroll up somewhere, you'll be able to see her speaking French or some shit. But anyways, like that's not, this video is getting off the rails, dude. My point is she handles the intake when people reaches out and she also tracks my sales activity and stuff like that as well. She responds quickly and, basically what I'm saying is she gives me the scoop on what's going on. If somebody replied to an email that with questions about a beat or a beat pack or anything like that, she'll also, keep me privy to that. That way I'm not spending all my time just like policing my inbox, policing my DMs and stuff like that. She's not really like a generic like autoresponder like most of the time. She's actually qualifying the sequences that I wrote in my voice and stuff like that. She asks the right questions, gets the right information, and she flags conversations when it's ready for my attention. And I kind of like, decided to prompt her in the afternoon and, it kind of ended up working good. So that's good. There's a pattern across everything in the stack and you don't need to know how to code or anything like that. You just need to know how to describe the problem that you have clearly and be willing to go through testing and different iterations with your agent. It's possible that if you're knowledgeable enough that you can just one-shot this and do it with Claude and then just let it run. I want to talk about local AI models because I think this is the most important part. I'm not quite there yet. I'm still waiting for a good model to run on my MacBook Air. I'm a little bit pressed for memory since I'm doing this all on my MacBook Air. But the primary model I'm running right now is actually Minimax, which is a cloud model. But for any of you guys with GPUs and, available memory or like the willingness to buy a virtual private server, like you can get your own server for this stuff and you can run local models like Quinn and Gemma 4, which is like super popular now. A lot of people are saying Gemma 4 is like, oh, it's the next best thing. It's like, I've been testing the Quinn models. They're a little bit too slow. I've been testing the Gemma models. They're a little bit too slow. But I'm running on like crap hardware, basically. So local AI is actually moving fast. And the plan is eventually for me to transition into these local models because I do like open source and I like what open source models are doing right now. I like where they're going and I see that the development is happening fast. And also the best part about local AI models is that once, some new local model comes out, you're able to swap it in an instant, right? And yeah, for me, these local models aren't going to replace Claude. They kind of do a different job than Claude does right now. I would love to have like a local model that is as capable as Claude and runs on, at the very least, my MacBook Pro, but I haven't found one. I haven't found one that has like the perfect memory, relevant chats, like all the like extra stuff that Claude has is the reason I'm still using Claude. But yeah, like I said, it's a good idea to have local models power automation. Absolutely. You can have like, if you have a spare computer, a lot of you probably have spare computers with more than 8 gigs of RAM and maybe decent processing power. You should be able to do a lot of stuff. And also, I think the reason the split matters is because these automations can run hundreds of tasks per week. And it is kind of unsustainable if you're just like renting space on the cloud from one of these like AI companies, right? Because you have to pay either like a monthly subscription or you need to have API access, so you have to pay like per request. And I think local automation makes that automation layer free to operate, which is great. The active work, the creative stuff, strategic stuff, the building, that's where you want the best available intelligence. But for automation, like you're going to want something that gets the job done, right? So the total ongoing cost of it is just the cost of electricity. And like, that's why a lot of people have been buying like Mac minis and stuff like that for these agent setups because of the efficiency of the Mac mini and the low power draw. And this actually goes for most Apple devices across the board, except for maybe like the exception of like the Mac Studio Pro or something like that. The power draw is a lot less than if you had like a desktop computer running a GPU that's super souped up. It's way less on electricity cost. And yeah, if you want to build something like this, this is how you do it, right? You don't start with the full stack. Start with a layer, right? If you want automation, start with OpenClaw, or if you heard some stuff about OpenClaw, there's other agents you can try like Agent Zero. I saw one yesterday called Pi something. And yeah, I like OpenClaw because it's free and open source. But for me, my suggestion is OpenClaw. That's what I've been using. I've tried the other ones. Hermes is fire too. The setup does take like a weekend and it is a real learning curve when you start. It's not plug and play, but you get one cron handling your daily outreach research and you can save hours a day, right? Every day for the rest of your career. And this will compound over time. This isn't really like productivity culture or anything like that. It's math. And then also, if you want like the active intelligence side, you have access to Claude. It's free. You can download it and they have good policies. They are like actually trying to protect people's data and not training AI off your data, which is one of the most annoying things I find about a lot of these AI companies, by the way. But yeah, open up Claude, open a session, tell it what you're trying to work on, ask it to help you write a script, plan a release, and figure out a system. That's how this video got written. That's how my next videos got written. And that's how I've been writing videos for the past year, to be honest. Like I've been using Claude as my main driver for about a year and some change, So go ahead and just start with whatever layer solves your most important problem right now. If you're losing hours to repetitive outreach, you're going to want OpenClaw. And if you're stuck on content, strategy, or building, then Claude is your guy. And yeah, 6 months of working this way will get you to an operation that either runs itself or at the very least does the stuff that you want to not do, which is great. I think that's a W for producers, right? You get to spend time working on music like you want to. But yeah, anyways, everything in this stack is going to be linked in the description, the OpenClaw stuff. I'll share the links and local model recommendations and stuff like that. I'll get it all together for you guys if you want to try it out. And if you need any help, go ahead and just shoot me a message, drop me a comment, whatever. I'll try to help you out as much as I can. And yeah, if you want to go like deeper on any of this stuff, go ahead and hit my website, book a call. We could talk about it. Also, let me know if you guys are working on any local AI stacks for your music operation. It can be non-local too. I'm very curious about how producers are actually using AI right now. So go ahead and drop that in the comments. I want to see what you guys are running. And yeah, subscribe if you're building something real. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.